I feel bad for my parents when I think about going no contact, or as them as the bad ones. What should I do? How can I deal with guilty feelings for cutting contact with my mom? How do you let go of resentment and anger? How long did it take you? How do you deal with the grief? She reached out to me earlier and I felt guilty for ignoring her. It hurt so bad, I feel like a bad person. Hi guys, I am Allison. I wanted to share some validation if you guys have been struggling with any of these intense feelings, guilt, resentment, grief, involving going no contact with your narcissistic parent or family member. You are not alone. Many people are struggling with it too, and I have dealt with it myself. And so I want to share with you guys some tips on how you can move forward. The first thing that I want to say is, with this emotional intensity within you, despite the love that's there, if you are really struggling, which if you clicked on this video, maybe you are, with guilt and resentment or grief, we'll get there later, no contact is probably the right thing for you. And if not no contact, hard boundaries. Declaring that you are no longer going to participate in this drama, in this misunderstanding of life, and you're going to take a step back and for the first time learn to be at peace and live with joy. And for those of you who do choose no contact, know that that doesn't have to last forever. You can have an immense healing session whilst in no contact, and then choose, because maybe you're feeling grief or just strong. How about we look on the bright side? You're ready to have a relationship with them. And if a narcissistic attack, a random chaotic attack comes your way, you can choose to step away. Again, not as no contact, but just as a boundary. To say, no thank you, I'm not gonna participate in this drama anymore. I value my well-being more than that, without feeling guilty or resentful for taking a step back. Alrighty guys, so boundaries are awesome. No contact can be really awesome. If you're feeling grief, I'd say go boundaries route, but we'll get into that later in the video. For now, if you guys are no contact, I do want to give you guys 2 really valuable tips. So the first, you need to separate yourself from this family member and from your family in general and from life in general. Recognize yourself as your own person. This outer layer, the skin, separates you from other people and from the world. I know that some of you are like, yeah, duh, but I mean, I have felt like my soul is attached to everyone else. Like I don't have my own soul, and learning to take care of myself first has been really difficult, to be honest. So people who grew up in dysfunctional families are often completely absorbed in it. People who aren't in dysfunctional families, they have home as a part of their life and family as a part of their life, but they also have the energy and build the momentum of learning about new things and playing sports and having friendships and new aspirations, and they live a whole life outside of the family. But for people who are in a dysfunctional family, when they go home, their excitement level, their like nervous level, their complete instinctual side of themselves are on blast because they're really stressed out. They don't know if it's gonna be a good day or a bad day at home. They don't know when chaos is gonna come. It's really never ending because you don't know when it's gonna come and when it's gonna end. It's just like, it's their entire life. It seeps into every part of their life. It seeps into them, they absorb it, us, we absorb it, and then it seeps into every facet of our lives. Am I right? Like we're just absorbed in the chaos, and extracting ourselves, it feels difficult, but you guys, it can be easier. It can be easier than you guys are maybe feeling like it can be right now, because you're all feeling guilty and resentful and stuff. But when you're on the other side, you're like, oh yeah, now I'm living a normal life. Look at that. You're gonna get there, don't worry. But how do you become not so absorbed in your family after so long, your entire life, being absorbed in your family? So I guess relating this to feeling really resentful about your family, about all the things that they've done and do and are, instead of being absorbed in that, let that be just a part of your life that's over there, you know, not the forefront focus of it. And instead, while you are no contact, while you have these hard boundaries, this space, focus on something else. Focus on the good things in life. Okay, we all have this one thing or a few things that make us really happy. That we're like, when we do this, we feel good, and it just lights us up. So personally, my hobby is health. I like practicing new workout things like yoga or running. Running is not going so good, but changing up what I eat, trying new things, learning about mental health. Some people I know are so into music. They like to play instruments. Some people I know are really artistic. They like to draw stuff. Other people are just purely all about the food. Let's cook some really good stuff. What is your thing? What's that thing that lights you up? Do more of that. Or learn stuff. Or hang out with people. Or get a pet. I don't know. Put something into your life that can displace this resentment and your family dynamic as a whole. So that, I mean, just as an example, if you go to work one day and someone's like, oh hey, how's it going? What's up? What's new? Instead of saying, I have no contact, I hate my family, you can say, I'm learning how to make the best vegan food on the planet. I'm learning how to play the drums. I just learned how to metalsmith. You know, you can tell them fun, positive, cool things that you're doing as a single person in your life. You're not absorbed in your family. You're not saying, oh, this is happening to my sister or whatever. You're saying, I'm doing this. This is my life. Here you go. And not even just to say to other people, not even for appearances, but just for your own self. Your inner world has to do with you and the things that you're doing. Piggybacking off of that idea, your only responsibility in life is you. Not your family, not your parent, no one but you. And further, your responsibility is to do all that you can to make yourself happy and healthy. So other people may have put their health and happiness over yours and told you to do what you can to make them happy, even though they weren't taking the responsibility for themselves and doing what they could to make themselves happy or you happy. We gotta let that go and focus on ourselves and do that for ourselves because we can. Because we're here, we're trying, we want to, and we're gonna take responsibility for our feelings, our actions, our health, our happiness. I think this is so relevant to feeling guilty. We feel guilty for not being enough, not being able to fix our families, but we can't. We can't make them happy. We can't take care of them, especially if we ourselves are not feeling good and taken care of by ourselves. And guess what? No one else is going to take care of us. So we really got to take care of ourselves and take care of ourselves first. We can still have that philanthropic personality trait, characteristic, taking care of others. We may really want to do that. I know so many people comment and they're like, what about my younger sister? I can't leave them. That's a super duper hard thing, and I feel you 100%. But I think that I stayed in my sibling relationships too long, and only with space and putting myself first can I help them. And really, how can you help people? You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink it. You can be an example for people. And so be an example for other people by putting yourself first, and even more than that, because they may not notice that, but they will notice if you're just doing exceptionally well in life. If you're happy and you're healthy, do that. That's how you can help the people in your life most. And then maybe with that will come all this abundance and you'll be able to save everyone in your family. I don't know, but take care of yourself, okay? That's your only responsibility. Let go of the responsibility that you have for your parents and for your family. Become less absorbed in everyone else's emotions and making everyone else feel comfortable. Make yourself feel comfortable. Speak your mind if there's something that would make you feel more comfortable, and make a change if there's something that would make yourself more comfortable, because you matter. You matter so much. People haven't always acted like it, but you do. So someone did ask me how long it took for me to move beyond my resentment and my anger, and I remember distinctly it was around 9 months. And that was for several reasons. To put it in a nutshell, someone else in my family caused this massive upheaval of drama, but it wasn't this constant crisis mode drama. It was like a real crisis, like a bad thing happened to someone in my family, and I realized that it wasn't the person that I was no contact with. And even though I was no contact and there was so much peace in many ways in my life, there was still a lot of dysfunction happening. And so I couldn't just put the blame on this person. I couldn't put the blame on anyone. I couldn't put the blame on myself. There was just like a generational issue, and I can't change it or help it, and I can't be mad about it. That doesn't help anything. I don't know. I guess that's it. That's all that the epiphany was like a crisis happened, and I realized I cared about this person so much, and I care about this person. I care about them all so much. I love myself, and that's what matters. It sounds really anticlimactic, but I think I leveled up on a soul very universally forgiving level and realized I'm not angry anymore. It wasn't a great thing because it came through turmoil and in fact losing this other person in my life, and then realizing, oh, actually they all matter. Like, I don't want to be no contact, and I'm not angry at them. I'm actually so sad for it all, and I don't know. I'm not mad. There's love there. And this segues pretty nicely into the last emotion mentioned in these comments, these questions. How do you deal with grief? I'm going to tell you guys my experience dealing with the grief, because losing someone, oh God, okay, it's tough. This is serious stuff, guys. So shortly after this crisis happened, for me, I realized, okay, I'm not mad. And I waited a few months, still felt that way. Love built in my heart, peace, and just desire to be a part of my family. You know the desire. You know it very well. It doesn't go away, at least not in my experience. Anywho, and so I broke no contact, and I got in touch with my mom. I have other videos on this, but what I'm going to say about this is that in the time I was no contact, it was a year of my life, and I was no contact with other family members for significant periods of time. I am no contact with another family member, who I hope this that I'm about to tell you is the case for that family member as well. In that time, I found so much healing. I let go of resentment. I let go of guilt. I really found myself. I wasn't such a chameleon, going from like being myself in my life to like being who I was with my parents to being who I was with my siblings, and just like going with whatever their flow was. Instead, I was going along with my flow. I got in the groove with who I was. I discovered my power again, my voice. So much healing happened during no contact, during these hard boundary times in my life, that being no contact now is easy. It's not like enmeshed again. It's very distant contact, but there is contact when I want it. When, you know, it's not from fear, obligation, or guilt. It's just desire and love. And when there is some narcissistic or chaotic influence in the dynamic coming my direction, I say no, no thank you. And I have no guilt or resentment about it. I don't feel grief in that time. I feel completely fine. I feel fine. So I don't know, I hope that maybe if you guys continuously feel this grief, you don't just have to get over it. You can go about having contact and feeling really strong and in control of your life and responsible for your emotions and on top of your emotions. So for this other person in my family who I am not in contact with, I want to be in contact with. It's not actually my decision to be. So for that, there was a period of grief I had to go through that I can't end with just like my decision to end it. So that has been really, really tough. if it's not your choice to be no contact, or if there is no choice of ever being in contact again, the grief is a little bit more long-lasting and terrible. Just to validate you guys again. But I mean, I have not had contact with that person in a year and a half, just about. And for a good year, I was really upset about it. Really upset, and felt shameful about my actions. But that is where I think it's different for everyone. I have found my peace because I know if there is a relationship ever again, I will be different. I'll love differently in a more unconditional way that I didn't know how to even just 2 years ago. But if that never happens, I have some acceptance about it because, you know, family dysfunction, it runs really, really deep, unfortunately, in so many cases. But there's nothing that you can do about it sometimes. So there's acceptance, and overarching, what I'm trying to say is just time. Time will heal your heart involving that matter. Just gotta be patient. Give yourself some time for bereavement and acceptance, and allow yourself to displace that, being absorbed in that, with other good things in life. And slowly but surely the balance will shift, and you'll be living your life again, and this will be a part of your life, this sadness and grief, but it will be a tiny part of your life. Okay, now for the tough love portion. You feel this way, this guilt and resentment, because your narcissistic parent is not just a narcissistic parent. There's much more to them than that. Maybe they're an artist, maybe they're a doctor, maybe they're a teacher. They are confused. They're very confused about very basic life principles, but it's because they are not resolving their trauma, their childhood trauma, their complex generational issues that they inherited from their parents, and that likely their parents inherited from their parents. But your parent is more than just a narcissistic parent, as you are more than who you are at your absolute worst. And I know that you're not on the same level as your narcissistic parent, but at the same time, I don't know. Who are we to be better than anyone else? I'm personally like just a hippie when it comes to us not being separate. We're all connected. We're all one in a way. Like, no one's better than each other. We're not better than animals, plants. I'm just like, woo, life. I'm making myself sound silly now. But I wouldn't want to be narrowed down to being me at my, silliest and like stupidest, me just being a goofball. That's not who I am. I'm much deeper than that. Even if I can't articulate well sometimes, I'm not just this goofball. I'm a really intellectual, philosophical, psychological person. And a narcissistic parent isn't just a narcissist. They are much more than that. They have really good qualities. And you love them. You feel sad and you feel mad because you love them and because some of your needs aren't met in that love, in that relationship. And you know what? Some of their needs aren't met either in the relationship with you. We don't get what we want completely in any of our parents, and our parents don't get exactly what they want in their children. And they don't get what they want in life on a grand scale because, that's just the rut that they're in. But you love them. They're more than just a narcissistic parent. And although we've risen above so many times, and maybe you are sick and tired of rising above and being the bigger person to your parent, you guys can do it. Maturity is learning how to stand up for what you want, while also compromising and recognizing that everyone else is standing up for what they want to and finding a middle way. That's being a mature person. And also, I don't think it's mature to be mad at our parents forever for not being perfect to us and not giving us everything that we needed when we needed it. I think that's a pretty low level energy to live at, and I don't want to like put anyone on the spot here. I don't think I'm saying this in the most compassionate way possible, but tough love is still love. Everyone is doing the best they can with the resources that they have. And I know that you're like, no, they're not. I've been there, I've thought that, but I really think it's true. And the best thing that you can do is live your life to the best of your ability and see how good you feel, despite everyone else. You won't even care if someone does something that used to get on your nerves. You'll be like, oh, you'll give them grace because you give yourself grace, because you're trying so hard and you see that, and then you project that on your world. The world is just a mirror. You see everyone else is trying their best too. See, this is getting very philosophical, but this is my advice for you guys. Know that you shouldn't feel guilty, or you shouldn't feel guilty or shameful for anything that you've done in the past and for anything that you've done to anyone. It's in the past. It's a very, very human error to think that you can change the past or even worry about changing the past, regret it. It's in the past. Live now. Try to not be resentful, be forgiving, give grace to others, to yourself, and to do your best. That is what my advice is to you. Take responsibility for your health, your happiness, being absorbed in your passions, getting towards your aspirations, living your ideal dream life, okay? Okay. I'm gonna go now. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought down below. And I will talk to you guys very soon.